Hello, my dear Jess, and I'm going to hide this panel first because it's hideous. Hi, welcome to your reading, and thank you for your unexpectedly needed patience. I'm actually going to attach a copy of this when I deliver the link for your reading so that you can follow along, because I've been hearing that it's a little difficult to see on the screen. I don't know if it's pixelated or what, but I'm going to cover that. So let's jump into this thing here. So if you would just think of both of your bodies as radio receivers that are able to push out energy, but also take in energy through your auras. This is what we're going to be reviewing today. So your chart is on the inside and your baby's chart is on the outside. We're going to be discussing how the energies play off of each other and the story they tell about your incarnations and your relationships together. So from the moment that you guys started interacting, these energies were like brought back together. And you'll notice, since your baby is so young, as he or she grows, that they'll actually have their memory for quite some time. So this will be really handy for you to know going forward. So I'm going to go through every one of these houses and just sort of tell you how the energies in your auras are affecting one another. And then we're going to go over the composite, so we'll understand the full design of your relationship and what you guys are working out together. So I am starting with your ascendant, your first house. This is who you are as a person, the way you appear. First and foremost, your baby is changing that altogether, which makes sense because wow, babies really change you. But this is especially in regards to how you feel about your legacy, how you feel about your finances, and eventually the things she wants and the way her mind works. Because I'm not going to say he or she, I said she. I'm not sure. I couldn't remember which, if you said you had a baby, you said my newborn, but I don't think you said the gender. So I want to be safe with that. But their mind will actually be a little bit materialistic, and you will have to work with that. Like, you're going to be driven to want to make more money to spoil your child because your child likes being spoiled. But that being said, what you need for care as a person and how you care for other people works right with what your child needs, because they're going to feel very unique. This is an alien baby. And by that, I mean, this is a child who's going to be able to prophesize the future, say weird stuff out of nowhere. This is the rebel. This is the humanitarian. And that is what you're going to appreciate most about your baby. And I can tell that especially because of the name. That's a child that is going to live up to that name 100%. So over here, we have your child Saturn, which is where their contract is in life, what they're bound to. Your child is bound to you. You both have a contract to do something with finances, to build something financially in your values, or with the values you have. Likely is them to be online or doing something for humanity or something as a rebel. What's interesting about this is your child Saturn is bound to your Lilith, which is your dark feminine energy. It's something about it that keeps you from being like the radical rebel that ties yourself to trees with this going on here. But your child's sun, which is her or his identity, character, lights up your second house, which reminds you of why you care about the causes that you care for and why you strive so hard for the things that you strive for in general. Next, we have your child's Jupiter, which is their expansion and growth, their spiritual gifts, because it's in the sign of Pisces. The intuitive information that comes through your child's Jupiter and Neptune, which is the karmic dispositor, like the thing that releases the energy from the collective and clairvoyance and stuff, is in your third house of communication. So your child is sort of like a little guardian angel, and he or she will always have stuff to like tell you, because this third house is about communication. And this part of your child's chart is about who they are naturally. So this is a naturally very psychically gifted child. Like, I can imagine she just popping up out of nowhere like, hey, I have a message, blah, 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 and then walking off like they didn't say anything. Because as soon as they come into somebody else's aura, they'll pick up the messages that they need to hear from them from like outside themselves. This is a very strong radio that your child has. Now, right here, we have your child's unique genius, right? Once again, in Pisces, that clairvoyance, right? Right next to your Mars. So they will be backing up your insight that you naturally have. You have an amazing intuition that you need never let go of, because you always have insight from outside yourself that is moving you very quickly along. Now, the interesting thing here is this Chiron, which is the wound that your child has to overcome. It's in your fourth house. So there's something about maybe living in somewhere loud or violent, or your child feeling like they had to be a protector of you growing up. It could even be the case, or just maybe some instability or never being able to actually feel like themselves there. But luckily for your child, your Mercury, which is the way your mind works, is right in Aries. So you will always understand your child, even when they don't understand themselves, or they don't know how to express themselves, or they have feelings or concerns about home, because this is probably something that happens in the future with this design, but just keep that in mind. Now, your Venus, which is your value and what you find important, that you usually find at home, right, is in your child's third house of communication. So the things that you do to bring peace to yourself, this is like gardening, walking in nature, meditation, weed, wine, good food, all that stuff helps your child understand the value of peace mentally, which is important here. That's where the big change in your child's chart took place in this life and is moving them towards their north node, which is to be somebody who is teaching things in a simple way based upon their own experience. Your son is lighting that up. The big change in this person going from being somebody who was really focused on money and really stressed all the time in another life to somebody who knows how to chill in this life and let things come to them and build slowly over time, because that is the main goal for your child's chart with this north node. Now over here we have your child's series, which is what they need to feel cared for and how they care for others. This is through words, and especially at home. This is the talker, and you really trigger that because your moon is right there. So the conversations that you guys have are healing conversations. Keeping communication up is very important with this relationship all the time. And you know, with your child, you sort of kind of do that anyway. But if this child ever tries to like keep thoughts from you because of that Pisces energy, it sometimes makes them shy. You are the one that can trigger it out of them. Next, we have your baby's Lilith in Gemini. So what does this mean? She's going to be a smart ass, possibly manipulative with her words. It could be the case. And with that coming into your sixth house, this has to do once again with you wanting to work for the things that your baby wants. I would imagine that he or she would have you buying a lot of things like books or learning devices, maybe writing things could be the case. Also, just stuff around the house, things that make that baby feel entertained, because your South Node is in the fifth house here, Cancer. This is family. This is the second time y'all are doing this with this person being your child, but you're moving away from the coddling, I guess would be the thing to say here, because you did not use your words before. When you have Cancer in fifth, you tend to be wishy-washy with your words, like you go with whatever the person wants to hear because you don't have boundaries. That's what you're moving away from, into you being able to say what you mean and mean what you say, because you guys are sort of letting go of that illusion of whatever your relationship was before. Like you have regrets from when you parented this child before, is what this seems like. You have regrets for how things turned out in that life. Maybe you raised a tyrant, could very much be the case, or you spoiled the child so much that they ended up being a person who did horrible things with their money, which is why there's so much karma here. Also, it feels like this child was male before if the child is not male now. So with your baby's moon in the sixth house, this is once again a past life connection, but it's a past life connection that is a balance, like something old, because this is the house of open enemy. So something happened last time with this child that did not go the way you wanted it to. And that is backed up by the fact that your Chiron, which is your moon, is in your child's seventh house. This is about healing a partnership and the self-esteem of your baby, because Leo energy controls the fifth house. Where's the child's fifth house? Where the Lilith is. So something about that baby's mind last time and still lingers this life is very smart, maybe smarter than others, and therefore able to manipulate. That's something you got to look out for as he or she develops. Now over here we have your Jupiter in, what is this? Virgo. I had a blonde moment. Your Jupiter is in Virgo. So this is about healing. You have the gifts of healing other people, especially with things like your hands, possibly through Reiki, plants, animals, anything like that. That is going to be good for you because you're going to be passing these gifts on to your child, because that is their part of fortune. Their sprinkle of luck in this life is the fact that they do know how to heal, and they'll be able to use these techniques in their relationship, because Virgo energy is once again about words, an area where your child has problems and being able to articulate oneself in a way that is not manipulative in their partnerships or even in the public eye, because that's their seventh house, would be great, really. Over here, we have something that is amazing, which is your Pluto, your power, your transformation point right next to your child's South Node. So that is changing what happened in the past and the belief system that your child had developed about what they need to do with their own power, how they wield their power. You're teaching this child how to not be the tyrant that it was before. This is totally a redo. I am amazed because I have never seen this before. Over here, we have your part of fortune, which is your sprinkle of luck, and your north node over here in your child's 11th house. So that means you guys will end up friends in this life, like a part of the same friend group. This is taking care of your wishes and dreams, which is a beautiful combination to have. Because you completed the mission. You went from being family enemies to friends in a way that like some people can't do, because not everybody is friends because they're family. That was super important because you guys did not end up that way last time. So We're finally at your child's 12th house, which is at the end of your 12th house, which is the house of karma. The biggest thing that's been showing up here, your unique genius, the big change you needed to make, and what you owed karmically are all connected to your child's values regarding money and drive regarding money. So, translation, you created a monster last life and you were like, no, we got to do this again. So you are rebuilding a genius, but a genius that cares about other people. That's why your child has so much Aquarius energy in that Saturn there. They have to give some back to the world, to other people, because last life, they really only cared about themselves, which is very, very interesting. So now we're over to this composite. The composite is like the birth chart for the relation. Let me save this before I forget, so you can have a copy of this to look over like, holy shit. So the composite is like the birth chart for the relationship. Both of your energies mesh together to show what the full goal is, or the full goal is. And just as I said, look, this is healing a painful relationship, healing a traumatic relationship from another life, right? To coming over here to learning your values and then using your gifts and your values. This can be used for music, film, helping other people, giving of yourself, some form of business, but you guys came to earn money together. And that is because this Capricorn rising, this is about your legacy, fixing your family legacy, pushing the lineage on, especially in regards to you guys writing or sharing something with humanity, something online, something that helps the divine feminine going forward. Your transformation will help when you guys move like at least 2 hours or more away from your home. Find your soul tribe on the internet and then share everything about what you're sort of channeling and what you guys have come up with together online with people. You will be known for being mysterious. People who learn how to multiply their assets and teach healing about shadow work and all that cool stuff. So this was a great outline and I am so thankful for this opportunity. Please let me know what questions you have because this was wild.